Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake.
History is a set of lies agreed upon. Religion is what keeps the poor from murdering the rich. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and inglorious is to die daily. Victory belongs to the most persevering. A leader is a dealer in hope. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. You must not fight too often with one enemy, or you will teach him all your art of war. Battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. There is no such thing as accident, it is fate misnamed. To do all that one is able to do, is to be a man. To do all that one would like to do, is to be a god. Men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. I can no longer obey, I have tasted command, and I cannot give it up. Ability is nothing without opportunity. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. If I had to choose a religion, the sun as the universal giver of life would be my God. A true man hates no one. Music is the voice that tells us that the human race is greater than it knows. Soldiers generally win battles, generals get credit for them. There is only one step from the sublime to the ridiculous. The surest way to remain poor is to be an honest man. A man will fight harder for his interests than for his rights. In politics, never retreat, never retract. Never admit a mistake. One must change one's tactics every 10 years if one wishes to maintain one's superiority. There is one kind of robber whom the law does not strike at, and who steals what is most precious to men, time. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. A throne is only a bench covered with velvet. It requires more courage to suffer than to die. Religion is excellent stuff for keeping common people quiet. The torment of precautions often exceeds the dangers to be avoided. It is sometimes better to abandon oneself to destiny. There are only two forces that unite men: fear and interest. A soldier will fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon. Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. History is the version of past events that people have decided to agree upon. Women are nothing but machines for producing children. The strong man is the one who is able to intercept at will the communication between the senses and the mind. The best cure for the body is a quiet mind. What is history but a fable agreed upon? 4 hostile newspapers are more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets. If you wish to be a success in the world, promise everything, deliver nothing. There are only 2 forces in the world, the sword and the spirit. In the long run the sword will always be conquered by the spirit. The first virtue in a soldier is endurance of fatigue, courage is only the second virtue. Men are more easily governed through their vices than through their virtues. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Those endowed with it may perform very good or very bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. Imagination rules the world. Nothing is more difficult, and therefore more precious, than to be able to decide. Take time to deliberate. But when the time for action has arrived, stop thinking and go in. An army marches on its stomach. From the heights of these pyramids, 40 centuries look down on us. Power is my mistress. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me. Courage is like love, it must have hope for nourishment. The people to fear are not those who disagree with you, but those who disagree with you and are too cowardly to let you know. He who knows how to flatter also knows how to slander. I am sometimes a fox and sometimes a lion. The whole secret of government lies in knowing when to be the one or the other. wisdom is a resolute determination. It is the cause, not the death, that makes the martyr. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Doctors will have more lives to answer for in the next world than even we generals. If they want peace, nations should avoid the pinpricks that precede cannon shots. When small men attempt great enterprises, they always end by reducing them to the level of their mediocrity. I love power. But it is as an artist that I love it. I love it as a musician loves his violin, to draw out its sounds and chords and harmonies. Throw off your worries when you throw off your clothes at night. All religions have been made by men. War is the business of barbarians. Among those who dislike oppression are many who like to oppress. With audacity one can undertake anything, but not do everything. Ambition never is in a greater hurry than I, it merely keeps pace with circumstances and with my general way of thinking. The herd seek out the great, not for their sake but for their influence, and the great welcome them out of vanity or need. I have only one counsel for you, be master. You must not fear death, my lads, defy him, and you drive him into the enemy's ranks. The French complain of everything, and always. The act of policing is, in order to punish less often, to punish more severely. In order to govern, the question is not to follow out a more or less valid theory but to build with whatever materials are at hand. The inevitable must be accepted and turned to advantage. In order to govern, the question is not to follow out a more or less valid theory but to build with whatever materials are at hand. The inevitable must be accepted and turned to advantage. Riches do not consist in the possession of treasures, but in the use made of them. When soldiers have been baptized in the fire of a battlefield, they have all one rank in my eyes. England is a nation of shopkeepers. Skepticism is a virtue in history as well as in philosophy. A celebrated people lose dignity upon a closer view. A revolution is an idea which has found its bayonets. Medicines are only fit for old people. I am the successor, not of Louis XVI, but of Charlemagne. Let the path be open to talent. The Battle of Austerlitz is the grandest of all I have won. The extent of your consciousness is limited only by your ability to love and to embrace with your love the space around you, and all it contains. France has more need of me than I have need of France. Water, air, and cleanness are the chief articles in my pharmacy. The great proof of madness is the disproportion of one's designs to one's means. Respect the bird. A constitution should be short and obscure. The army is the true nobility of our country. The human race is governed by its imagination. Forethought we may have, undoubtedly, but not foresight. Men take only their needs into consideration, never their abilities. The infectiousness of crime is like that of the plague. A revolution can be neither made nor stopped. The only thing that can be done is for one of several of its children to give it a direction by dint of victories. I made all my generals out of mud. It is my wish that my ashes may repose on the banks of the Seine, in the midst of the French people, whom I have loved so well. Public opinion is the thermometer a monarch should constantly consult. We must laugh at man to avoid crying for him. One should never forbid what one lacks the power to prevent. A man cannot become an atheist merely by wishing it.